everybody. And Trey.
Thank you. I appreciate you including me in that.
I think I told you a few shows ago I was going to say everybody first. And you were like, no.
No.
And now I'm doing it.
Well, you owe me that after what you put me through last week.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. No, I do know what you're talking about. And bless his heart. I tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and admit it. I have a confession. Our wonderful guest, Chris, that's my brother.
No shit.
In case anybody didn't figure it out when I tagged him on social media as Chris Layfield, which is my last name, and everybody knows that. But he's such a good dude and a great brother, and I just feel like, and he look, none of that stuff about his passion for World War II was a lie. I mean, this was, and you've known him for many years.
Many years, yeah.
And he's just, man, I just it's a whole nother realm. And so I wanted to get him on, and he was excited to come on and talk. And he'll be the first to tell you, like, okay, I don't, he maybe stumbles over his words sometimes because he has so much he wants to say. And I feel like with the World War II topic, and of course with us, it doesn't help at all because everything he tried to say, we were cutting him off, and I could sense his frustration, but at the same time, he also knows me and he knows us, and I thought he was a great sport, honestly. I asked him a question, and 5 seconds later, we're making a joke, and it wasn't a joke about him. It was just maybe something he said was an innuendo, or maybe something he said was something that sets us off.
We're going to grab that, yeah.
And this is why we're not a show about history or World War II or the Revolution or the Alamo.
But I will say I'm going to be better prepared next time, because somehow I ended up on a daily phone call with him where we're discussing up-to-date World War II facts. I'm now getting a weekly newsletter, and somehow I ended up with some new World War II pajamas. I don't know how he knows my size, but it creeps me out a little bit.
Did it have tanks or aircraft, or
it was just a big atomic bomb explosion on the butt?
It was the mushroom cloud explosion.
Oh. So thanks for that. I appreciate it.
That sounds pretty cool. No,
appreciate it, Chris.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that, because guess what? I don't have to have those daily calls anymore, and it's on you. So
why do they have to be Zoom? I mean,
because he has charts.
To see that I'm awake,
his graphs and charts, and he needs you to see maps, and he needs you to see the strategy going in.
Oh my gosh!
No, but I had a blast, and I think that hopefully people enjoy kind of the combination of him and us, and
it was a fun night.
What we do and what he does, and I'm not joking when I say I did learn stuff. I mean, little things that maybe I should have known, but some other stuff that he would just go off about. And trust me, we could do a 6-hour show about World War II if you're interested.
Not at all.
We love you, Chris, and thank you for coming on.
Until next time.
And so anyway, it was so funny that I was looking, and I wanted to click when I was editing, and I looked over, and every time you're just like staring at him, like just. And I was like, well, can't use him here.
Oh, you should have. You should have.
Well, no, because I really don't want people to think that we weren't enjoying him. He just, like I said, it was just, we're not used to it. It was different.
Yes.
From our show. And so I'm glad he came on. Hopefully we'll do another show with him just for fun. But anyway, how's your week going?
Not bad, I guess. I mean, it's the end of the week, so you can't complain.
Yeah. Well, my weeks never end when you have two kids.
Yeah.
It basically just begins because Saturdays and Sundays we don't have help. Yeah, we don't have people that are helping us watch them, like schools.
Yeah.
and nannies and babysitters. But they're a blast, and so. But anyway, I have a question for you before we really get going into our show.
Shit. Is it not coming from that book? Is it?
No.
Okay.
And that's the other thing is, I can't tell if people are enjoying these or not. I feel like every time I do them, they're funnier when I read them to myself.
I'm enjoying them.
Okay, you are?
Yeah.
All right, maybe we should do a show of just Would You Rathers and see what people think.
Oh, my gosh. See how long they hold on for.
Yeah. So this is a very simple question, and it was on a sitcom the other night, and I started thinking about it, and of course I go more in depth from what it was meant to be, but Would you be sponsored by a company? I don't know what you'd be sponsored doing.
Yes.
Bike riding, or
I'd be sponsored, yeah. Because don't they pay you money for that shit?
yeah. But what if it was minimal money, and it was? I think I already know your answer.
I'm selling my ass.
Minimal money, but if it was for a product that you like morally didn't agree with or just hated, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So what if it was what if you were? This is the most basic of examples, but what if you absolutely were devoted and loved Coca-Cola, but Pepsi wanted to sponsor you?
Gotcha.
And that's a lighter version of it. But what if it was something where it was just like, man, I don't believe in this energy drink because they're known to kind of not be great for you.
Like an anal bleach, but I like to go all natural.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking initially, but I didn't want to say it.
Gotcha.
God. Okay, so
speaking of, when you're searching for that online, how come they would name a product? And I shit you not, they named the product anal bleach. I mean, why can't they get a little bit more creative with that? Like beautiful balloon knot or angel butt or something like that. Why does it got to say anal bleach?
I feel like SEO tactics are taking over the world.
Yeah.
SEO meaning search engine, meaning, do you know what I'm talking about at all? Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's why the blank look on my face.
That's what I was asking. I know. Don't worry. That's going to be right on front and center on the screen.
Huh?
SEO, when you Google or when you search, are keywords. And so if somebody's looking for anal bleach and they type in anal bleach, I imagine if your product's name is anal bleach, you may have a good shot. But if you're fluffy balloon butt or whatever, what did you call it? If you're something else, then you go for like
balloon knot.
You go for a kid's party looking up for balloons, and all of a sudden you get like anal cream
balloon
comes out. So my next question to you is, how do we end up talking about anal cream?
Sorry about that.
I was just wondering how we get there. But you know what?
We always end up there.
I don't want to ask because it's something that's special about you and our show.
Yes.
God. So to answer that question, do you think if it's a lot of money, I bet you probably could. But if it was just like, I don't know, $1,000 every time you showed up at an event or something like that, would you be like, you know what? No, this isn't my deal.
Well, I'm curious too. On the other hand, if you're doing a commercial, like I don't like Burger King, and so
okay, there we go. Let's use fast food.
If they gave me an option to say, okay, hey, I want you to be on a commercial for Burger King, would I have to actually eat a Burger King burger? Could I have a Whataburger burger?
Oh. Yeah,
because nobody would ever know.
Well,
right?
that's like, what is it? The pros where they have their drink, but they're not sponsored, so they take the label off.
Exactly.
So you're drinking a green drink that's either Powerade or Gatorade or something, but you don't know what it is.
Or you cover up the shoes because it aren't certain leagues sponsored by one brand, so you got to color anyway.
Something like that. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like real burger connoisseurs could see that was not a Burger King burger.
You think so?
Yeah. But who cares?
Or like but what is a product? That's a good thing.
How about something that you believe is unhealthy?
Like cigarettes.
How about a cigarette? If a cigarette, a Marlboro or Camel or whatever, offered you a lot of money to sponsor, do you think you could do it?
Absolutely.
And we'll move on. That is.
Or alcohol. Yes. Pay me the money.
What if a cigarette company offered you $50 for a one-time thing? Sure.
Why not?
What if you had to smoke one? Ooh,
probably not.
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Didn't that make you sick though? If you just
I don't know. It's to each his. I mean, everybody's different. I can't tell you.
That would be a tough one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Tough. See, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. If I had to smoke one.
This is my point. Maybe that's the better question: is would you be willing to partake in whatever the product was that you were promoting? Because Coke versus Pepsi. Look, I'll put a Pepsi in my hand. I'll drink it. It's not that bad. It's not like it's not like Coke is amazing and Pepsi just is absolute trash. They're very similar in my opinion.
And that's how I would be with the anal bleach. I mean, it doesn't matter what the brand is. Right. I would try it for that money. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, hand it over.
Yeah. Let's try this out.
Okay. That answered my question in so many ways.
And we probably mentioned anal bleach way too many times.
At least I get to hashtag anal bleach.
Yes.
For the show.
You're welcome.
There you go.
You're welcome in your hashtag.
I'll get a influx of new listeners who are all about anal bleach.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take you away from this.
I'd like
to take
you
me away
to.
this?
Yeah.
And you know how good I am at setting stuff up, but I'm just gonna say I've got some travel stories.
Okay.
And I don't know. Are you a person that likes to travel by? I probably shouldn't ask you this. Travel by yourself, or do you have certain?
No, I like by myself.
Like
I don't
by
mind
yourself?
it. It depends on where I'm going.
Do you have certain things you like to do to set up for a trip, be ready for a trip? Like I want to show up 2 hours. I'm a light packer. The reason I ask this is because I love traveling, but I'm horrible at packing.
Yeah.
So now my girlfriend scares the shit out of me because she will literally tell me anything that I don't wear on the trip, she will throw away. So
That's pretty funny. I mean, if that happened to me, I would not have any clothes.
exactly.
I overpack.
Yes, I'm horrible at overpacking.
For sure.
So like, so now I'm literally packing in a backpack and rolling shit up and trying. I wear one pair of underwear the whole time. It's like I'm scared to death. But anyway, so I had a couple of interesting stories, and the reason they were interesting to me is because based on the headline itself, it was like took a different turn. Let me just kind of tell you. So, woman sparks furious debate after revealing she's refusing to go on a vacation with her disabled friend.
Oh, that's not very nice.
It's kind of shitty, right?
Yeah.
After previous nightmare getaway, who do you think is in the wrong?
Oh, so they've been away before together.
So they
Does
did
it say
go on a
what
trip.
the disability is?
Yes, I think she has a hangnail, or no, I should have had.
She has an ouchie. She has an ouchie.
She had an ouchie. Yeah.
We don't have to know.
She had a
She's
lazy
disabled.
eye.
She's disabled. We don't need to know.
She's got fibromyalgia, I think is what it was.
Okay, sure.
And I'll be horrible. So anyway, so the story goes, it's the two ladies, both in their 30s, been friends for many years since high school, it says. Yes, it is fibromyalgia. I got it. Okay.
So those of you that know what that is, you'll be happy. And those of you that don't, you'll be us.
I don't know what that is.
You'll be right there with us.
Anyway, so they planned a trip to go on vacation for over a year in advance, blah, 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 for 3 nights. So the vacation was actually okay, but this young lady, they call her Ashley. She extremely overpacked. So again, it was for 3 nights. She says she brought 7 outfits, different types of hair dryers, and a bunch of other stuff that just wasn't needed.
7 nights?
3 nights.
3 nights and 7.
7 outfits.
Okay, got it.
Different types of hair dryers. I didn't even know there was different types of hair dryers. I thought there was just a hair dryer.
Even bringing one hair dryer is a pain in the ass.
Right.
So
don't they come those and don't they have those in a hotel room?
Most of them.
Yeah. Or you can get one at the concierge. Anyway.
Sure.
So she brought all this shit, she said, and then started complaining about how heavy her bags are. She insisted on going on long walks through the city, which isn't that bad for fibromyalgia?
I think so.
So,
yeah,
I'm trying to think of something funny, but I can't. Anyway, but then would get tired.
That's a rarity, Trey.
Yeah,
that's a rarity.
So then they would, and it probably piss somebody off anyway. But they said she would get tired, and then they would need to get a taxi home because she couldn't walk back. So she would insist on going on these long walks and then ask for a taxi because they went too far and have to ride back.
Yeah. You mean it's the chronic disorder that causes pain and tenderness throughout the body as well as fatigue and trouble sleeping.
There we go.
You mean that?
Disability? I might have fibromyalgia then.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting there going, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Hurting all the time.
Okay, so if there's pain and tenderness throughout the body, and I get it. She wants to go on this long thing and
she can't make it back.
She can't make it back.
Yeah.
But so is it that big a deal to get a car? I missed that part. Like, who cares?
I guess it was the fact that she was insisting on going on the long walks, knowing that she can't make it
she
back.
Should front the Uber bill on the way back or whatever.
There you go.
Maybe that's the deal. I don't know.
So anyway, it says the last straw was when she had a full-on meltdown at the station. They went to a train station. She walked her to the station. She wasn't getting a train back, she said, because they lived in different areas. So they got to the front desk. She asked the staff for a wheelchair that she could use because she was struggling to walk any further to the platform. They advised her they were all being used and asked her if she booked assistance, which she hadn't. So, of course, then she went on a complete meltdown.
Right.
Finally, a manager came up with a a wheelchair, gave her the wheelchair. She got her on her way. And then 2 days after they got home, this young lady, Ashley, asked her if she wanted to go ahead and plan on a similar vacation for the next year. And she told her no.
She's like, I'm good.
She's pissed at her. So
I'm gonna get somebody who doesn't have pain and tenderness of their body.
So is that shitty? I don't know if that's shitty or not.
I don't think so. I don't. At that point, I mean, 2 days. I mean,
3 nights.
No. I'm just saying if she asked a year or two later, like, hey, would you like to do something again? Then maybe you're over it. But to come at her 2 days later, I would just be like, no, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah. I just feel like that was very quick.
Yeah.
And you could explain to her, like, it seemed a little, it depends on how good of friends, there's a lot, you know me, I always have lots of questions. But if they're good friends, I would be honest. I like to communicate. And I would say, look, you're kind of a pain in the ass.
I was about to say,
my wife tells me that on our trips all the time.
I get it. And none of this shittiness had anything to do with her disability. So I guess if an able-bodied person was doing this shit, I wouldn't want to go.
Well, besides the walk back and the things like that, the things that weren't set up for her. I mean, I guess there are some high maintenance type things for the condition, but I mean, it's also a condition that I don't think is impossible to enjoy a trip either.
Yeah.
And again, people, I don't know. I'm not in the situation, but it sounds to me like, I do have lots of aches and pains and things, probably not to that level, but you work around it, you do whatever. And so if this woman is saying that her friend who had it wasn't doing these things and was almost expecting everybody else to cater to it,
yeah,
then maybe she's got a point.
A little bit.
So I'm going to go with no. She's not in the wrong.
She's not in the wrong?
No.
Okay. Now, this is another fun one that I read, and based on the headline, I thought was like, oh, shit, he's in trouble. Man asks if he is an asshole for leaving his wife, who was running late to get Starbucks, behind at the airport.
Okay. So well, obviously, you have to fill me in. So
he jumps on a plane and gone.
But why did the wife not know that the plane...
All right, let me tell you some of the rest of the story. So,
I mean, I love the idea of a husband bailing on getting on a plane and flying away from his wife. But
so basically, the story went. I guess his wife is very nonchalant when it comes to trips. So he said, basically, further on in the story, she's always on time, places, but for whatever it is, traveling, she's horrible at. So they have a daughter that lives out of state. I think they live in the Pacific Northwest. She's going to college out of state somewhere. So they had planned a trip initially. He wanted him to get out of the house. Let's go out of the house by 6. Let's get to the airport on time. This, that, and the other. Anyway, wife didn't wake up on time. They get to the airport, miss the flight.
So they already... Okay.
So they miss a flight. This is the first story that leads up to him leaving her ass. Yeah. So they miss a flight, and they're going to visit her daughter. So they missed a whole day with her daughter. Right. He was frustrated. They end up catching the next day, going to visit the daughter. Anyway... So another trip comes up, and obviously they don't want to miss it. So they get to the airport late. Again. They catch the flight. Actually, I take that back. I just fucked up that story.
Okay.
He gets her ass up in time.
Should we just move on and leave everybody hanging? Never mind. That story is not important.
That was horrible. Anyway.
No, you're fine.
So the next trip to go visit the daughter, he got her up on time. They get to the airport. They had about 45 minutes to waste.
Fair enough.
So, of course, the wife is like, well, what are we going to do now? So they're hanging out at the airport for 45 minutes. She gets frustrated about this. They go to their the next destination, which is a layover. It's about an hour until the next board. Only an hour.
Okay.
He said they had to take a bunch of trains to get to their terminal.
Okay.
So they get to the terminal, and there's literally 15, 20 minutes until they start boarding.
Okay.
She wants a coffee. There's a place right next door. Hot food, coffee, no. She demands, I want Starbucks.
Oh, God. Really?
So she needs Starbucks.
Come on.
So Starbucks is a walk and a train away.
Nuh-uh.
Within the terminal.
Okay, go ahead.
So he's like, we don't have time. She said, listen, if you're not going to go with me, I'm going by myself. He said, fine. So she takes off for her Starbucks. Well, They start boarding the plane. They start calling the names, board the plane, this, that, and the other. He's calling her. Finally, she answers, I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I'm on my way. There was a long line at Starbucks. And the lady at the door is like, listen, hey, we got a board. Are you going or not? He jumped on. So they're about to take off. She calls him up. I'm here. They're not letting me in. You need to come off the plane. He's like, nope.
No, I'm good.
You did this already. And
got a good spot for my carry-on.
He's like, you did this to us already. Get a ticket for the next flight.
Yep.
I'll see you there.
Yeah. I'm going to go see our daughter.
Yeah. So he took off. She got a ticket, showed up later that day, next day, whatever. He thought everything was cool.
The story's not over.
She didn't mention it.
Okay.
She's like, okay, maybe she realized she was in the wrong.
Okay.
So he didn't mention it. Everything went well until they got home. He said, she hasn't talked to me for over a week. So is he in the wrong with that?
Well, I would, once you said husband and wife, I immediately would have sided with the husband anyway.
No matter what he did.
But in this case, I don't think he's wrong. I mean, obviously, it's easy to sit here and say that.
I mean, she got a history of it. So
yeah, but it's like you told her straight up. It's almost like you said, if you go and they board, I'm going to get on.
Right.
It almost sounds like this woman isn't real, but I know some women that are like this. And so I'm not going to say anything, but it's just like you have 20 minutes. You're not going to make that.
Right.
That's almost as close to a fact as you can get, and you're still going to go. You're going to be stubborn. So
especially with you had to have Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
now, is there a scenario that you would say, okay, I shouldn't jump on the plane? Like if you weren't going to see your daughter across, would you stay? Like if y'all were going just on a vacation
this had happened
together.
again. Well, sure. I mean, okay, you have, unfortunately.
And you would stay and be pissed.
Right, and you'd hold it over her head. But I mean, because that's a situation where okay, look, if we're going overseas or we're going to do this, and come on, and now we got to try and wait for another plane and sit in the airport for 4 hours and whatever else. It just seems like.
Yeah.
But I would have also been a little more stern before. I probably would have done everything to not actually let her do that.
Yeah.
And she can be mad at me for that, but we'll also make the flight.
Right. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I wonder what the daughter thought.
I wonder if they told the daughter.
Right. I wonder what she would think, though. Would she side with her mom because it's her mom? Or, no, I bet. Anyway.
She probably don't give a shit.
Those are good stories. They're good because it's like you try and put it's easy for me to sit here and go, that guy, that's my boy. Like, I understand. He's innocent.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, would you really leave your wife? And I think knowing that she's in the airport, she's fine. You're able to get another ticket. She's responsible. It's not like she's a kid.
Right.
You need to sit in the airport and think about what you've done. Speaking of not being a kid.
And I've got a lot of anxieties when it comes to flying and traveling and stuff like that, whether it be, taking my Dramamine before a flight, making sure it's 30 minutes before we go, that kind of shit.
You do have some of those.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I like to have water with me for whatever reason.
I do, yeah. I'm that way.
So, but I'm also busting ass to get to places to make sure, and I'm not looking for specialized water. I've got to have my Ozarka water. I'll grab a bottle of water anywhere. But it's little things like that I need to make my anxiety calm down. And so I try not to be too difficult about it. So
you'd be probably even worse in this situation than that guy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm also the one that likes to get there early because, long lines through security, whatever the case may be, I'm going to be that one person. I'm not going to make us late.
Yeah. So it's interesting. By myself, I'm like, I'll get there early. What's the worst that happen? I go sit at a bar.
Right.
And hang out and whatever. With the kids, it's when you need to get there early. And I'm like, oh, we don't want to be there too early because what are those little assholes going to want to do for an hour?
Right.
And there's these airports have little kids spots, but
you can't give them vodka or anything to calm them down.
No,
is that frowned upon?
Yeah, they didn't like that when I tried.
They didn't like that.
Although I do try the same joke every time we go into a restaurant bar. Like he'll point to my 2-year-old, and I'm like, he'll have a Grey Goose, and no one ever. I don't think one person's ever laughed at it, but I still try it.
They look at you crazy.
They just kind of go, okay. I mean,
like it.
And I kind of like
already.
And I don't disagree with them.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I think I would probably do that to myself.
Like,
Anyway,
all right.
Yeah, those are good. I like, ever since we did a few of those on the show, I think we did like some am I the asshole
Am I
from
the asshole?
Reddit or
Yeah.
something. And ever since then, it's interesting because it's not you. Sometimes it sounds as simple as just yes or no, but if you start thinking about little things, you don't know the relationship. You don't know
Behind the scenes,
behind the scenes. Had he done something maybe that was an asshole-ish thing to do, and maybe he should have just got off because he owed her one, or
Yeah.
But just in content alone, I think he was not wrong in what he
No?
did. No. Get on that plane. Get on that plane.
See you later.
See you later.
Enjoy that Starbucks.
Yeah. But don't think that I wouldn't have been like, at least you got your Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get some more too because you have 5 hours.
Plenty time until the next
wait.
plane. Oh shit.
So, okay, let's. Here we go. Let's go from laughter to serious. And I thought about. And Trey and I have talked about how we want to introduce this to the show. And we have to do it because it's out there right now. It's
way out there.
It's way out there, and it's the most talked about thing probably in the last couple of weeks since it happened, and it's I'm not going to do this whole setup thing. Fuck it. It's just it's Israel and Palestine and Hamas, the extremist group of Palestinians, and it's just crazy, and it's something that's been going on for a long time. So I'll start with that. It's not something that is. There's nothing simple about it. It didn't just happen yesterday. I'll admit that right off the bat. So what do we do in this show? We stay in the middle. We stay gray. I'm always willing to listen. There's a young lady. She knows who she is. Hopefully she's listening still. Who I've talked with recently. Who's very upset, and she's Palestinian. And I'm trying to learn from her a little bit and listen. I might not agree with everything based on. I mean, she can't expect. In all fairness, she can't expect to tell me something and me go, oh, yeah, everything I've ever read or researched, my credibility is all gone. And that's difficult for somebody to do. It might make me go, oh, wow, let me look more into that. Or I can see here maybe I'm not as strong on this position as I am on another position or something like that. But anyway, so I want to start out by saying I'm not. It's not simple. This friction, for lack of a better word, has been since the end of World War II. Trey, the end of World War II, and a couple of years later, basically, long story short, land was distributed, given to the Jews because they haven't been treated very well in the existence of their humanity as well. Right. I mean, everyone forgets that the Jews are probably the most chastised group. Again, the Palestinians will freak out when I say something like that, but come on. It's I mean, even today, you've got anti-Semitism all over the place. So don't come at me. And I'm not saying that Arab countries haven't and Muslims haven't gone through similar stuff. But you can't deny that the Jews have. And so once it was redistributed, and again, Trey and I are doing our best here. We're not specialists. We're definitely not World War II guys, as we learned
at all.
And I've done enough, and I know enough to talk about it in a broad way, with a willingness to continue to learn. And I think you're the same way. And I think that that's the difference. And so, long story short. Or already long, so long. I'm going to cut the long story to make it short. This friction's there. Israel has been supported by the United States and countries like Great Britain. I learned that Great Britain actually had control of that land for a while, and so everything was peaceful. And then when they left, it was like then the Jews stayed, and they were like, "Well, it's ours," and then the Palestinians were like, "I don't think so," and it became a big thing. And,
yeah.
And again, I'm making it very simplistic, and there's a lot more to it, and a lot of it comes in a battle over Jerusalem and whose capital that is, and things like that I've really learned and kind of dove into a little bit. It's interesting. Humanity as a whole is interesting, and so what happened was, and I know you came in and you knew more about the actual incident that this extremist group Hamas. And Hamas believes that there is no negotiation with Israel. There is no nothing. That their land is their land. The people that left pre-1967 or pre-whatever, whenever the land was whatever, they need their land back, their homes back. They are basically fuck Israel and everything about it, and they're out.
So were they cool when it was British led, or they just didn't have a?
And that's
just didn't have a
these
choice.
These are the types of things I'm not going to admit to knowing. I think at the time it was relatively peaceful, and so now that it's become, ever since that they left, it became more violent. And the claim is that from the Palestinian side is that Israel's been committing slow genocide on their own people, and that they've been treating them as badly, if not worse, than what this recent attack that I'll let you explain was. And that's the argument. And so from one side, and I'll let you go, because I'm trying to set this up. From one side, we've grown up thinking, okay, Israel, Jewish, poor Jews, and I'm being blunt here, so forgive me if anybody's offended by how blunt I am. The poor Jews, Israel, U.S. supports them mostly because we're responsible for where they are right now, in a way.
Yeah.
So we back them financially. We back them with military equipment and weapons and things like that, because we support the Jews and we support Israel. That's just the way it's been. So Palestinians don't like that, obviously. They're like, well, fuck you. Like, why are you supporting them? And so it's been ongoing for a long time. This isn't just something that's simple. Israel is not innocent, in my opinion, completely. Palestine is not. No one's innocent. But I'll say it again, and then I'll let you go. I promise. Since the beginning of mankind, or womankind, whatever person kind, or whatever I'm supposed to say,
humanity,
ever since the beginning of humanity, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Men and women divide and conquer and claim, and this is just what's gone on. If they think they're the only people that have had conflict over land, then fuck them, because that's just not the case. We're reminded every day in this country about how we stole it and blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't mean to wrong. That's a whole nother topic. I'm just saying it's something that, and there go the Native American listeners. But no, I love you, Native Americans, and we'll talk about it at some point. But it's something that is not, you cannot just simply say they're right or they're right, or they're wrong or they're wrong. There's more to it here. And so I just feel like that's what's happening, is people are doing what they've been doing recently, is let's jump on one side or the other. And so tell me about, and tell listeners that don't know, or ones that do, your version of what happened, because it is this group, Hamas, the Palestinian group, basically attacked Israelis.
Well, honestly, I've been under a rock when it comes to this stuff. And I mean, you see it on the news, you see articles pop up and stuff like that, but I really didn't look into it or pay attention to it because it's over there.
You mean over the years, like growing up? And
sure.
Stuff? Yeah.
Or even recently. But yeah, I saw this video on Instagram, thought I'd take a peek at it, and it's basically a reporter talking about this supernova festival that they have. Mm-hmm. And I guess they have them in different countries and this, that, and the other, but this one was in Israel on October 7th. And they said this what's the name of the group again? I'm sorry. Hamas. They said this Hamas group targeted this festival. This festival was not just Israelis. It was people from all over the country that came just to party and hang out. And it was peace, love, and all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah, I think we were about to go.
Yeah. So, come to find out, this was actually a target of Hamas. Mm-hmm. And to the basically the point that they blocked off the exits as people were driving out. They were just picking them off, shooting them as they were coming out.
They were familiar, and
it was a plan,
a strategy. Yeah.
So they said some people were pulled off into, was it the Gaza Strip? Mm-hmm. Obviously raped, tortured. So, I mean, it's just, I don't see how this was justified. And again, like you said, we don't know enough about it, but I can understand if there's ways that they want to get their land back and stuff like that. There's got to be a better way than just killing. I mean, basically massacring these innocent people that were just there for a festival. What?
Right.
How does? I guess there's no rules in war, but was this necessary to, I guess, prove a point? I don't know what they were trying to do with that except for just cause chaos, which they have.
Well, the response to that, and I think, and I can almost hear that acquaintance of mine that I know that's Palestinian. I can just, feel for her in this. The response to that is that what they're saying, and again, I'm going to claim my ignorance on the topic. I'm not Israeli. I'm not Jewish or Palestinian. What the Palestinians are claiming is that Israel's been doing the same thing, if not worse, for years and years and years and years. My response, of course, is, well, that doesn't mean that this should be forgivable. Oh, well, you did it, so we can do it. I mean, if it is war, it's war, fine. But if it's war and Israel just absolutely slaughters everybody, it's war. You know what I mean? Now that it's been, if it's actually war and you want to say, you know what, because that's the only way it's justified in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is if the two are literally at war, which some will say they are and some will say they aren't and whatever. But if they're literally at war, then nothing, I mean, nothing, no holds barred, right? I mean, you go and you take care of what you have to take care of. And this was, from what I'm aware of, unprovoked this time. It wasn't like some incident happened and then they responded. This was, the initial response was what you're talking about, this attack.
Right.
And, you're seeing videos of them burning babies and dragging women and raping women, and undeniable too. This isn't like this is, whatever. This is dates and times and this and that, and fact check all you want. I mean, this is what I've looked at and seen. Not just the first video that popped up. I mean, I've looked into it, and it's happened. Again, the response is, well, they've been doing that to us. Okay, so what do you think about that? Is it justified because of years and years and years and years? This person got really upset when I brought up Hamas first, without acknowledging Palestine and what they've dealt with. My response was, well, this just happened, and it happened to be Hamas. I didn't think about it that way, and whether I should have to or not is maybe something she and I should talk about. But I just feel like I sympathize with any innocent people, women, children, whatever, men too. They can be innocent, and if it's indeed has been going on, and people are suffering at the hands of Israelis, I'm not on board with that.
Right.
I'm not pro-Israel no matter what. That's why all these Trump people, no matter what Donald does, you're pro-Trump. You must be. Same thing with the other side. I mean, it's just like so stupid. You don't have to be. You can support Israel, which I do. I support Jewish people, what they've dealt with. But that doesn't mean they're infallible. It doesn't mean that they can do no wrong. And so I want to know, if they've done this, show me. Like, why? I mean, I haven't seen these types of videos. But when it comes to Israeli...
Right.
And then, again, the response I got was, well, the United States supports Israel, so they're not going to show it to you. Well, come on. Worldwide social media.
It'll happen. It'll get out. Yeah.
We would have seen, and I'm sure you can find it. I'm sure we can go find it. I'm sure it's out there. But this happened, and it was like blown up. Go ahead.
And this Hamas group, are they doing this with the backing of the Palestinian government, or...
That's a great question. My answer is I don't think so, but I also don't claim to know that 100%, because I think this is a separate incident, which is why this Palestinian acquaintance got so upset when I brought up Hamas right away. It was kind of like, look, that's not us. But there are people that have, I don't know how to say it right, that are in Hamas or part of Hamas that have beliefs. Their belief structure is correct, but their process is wrong. So there's nothing wrong with, in other words, there's nothing wrong with the belief that these lands were ours. These lands should go back to us. Fuck Israel, whatever. But carrying it out this way, my understanding is that not all of the Hamas believers support the extremism, the violence.
And I was
And that's where I don't know enough. And
this person that's Palestine.
yeah, and I really want to get her on. She's not local, so we got to get her on. But anyway,
So I'm just curious. Also, does she have family there? Because obviously the actions of this group, that maybe all of Palestine doesn't approve of, is now forcing all of Palestine to now fight.
right?
And
Sure, yeah. That's a good point. I mean,
so how does she feel about that? As far as I get it, they may have had issues with Israel, but is she in support of this group handling it this way?
true. I mean, it's not just Hamas that has issues. Hamas just happens to be the one that acted out.
They said, "Fuck it, let's go."
It's like, yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not even gonna try to compare it to some of the other extremist groups in the Middle East that we've dealt with. But they've been in locations that the civilians and citizens have suffered because of their actions.
Gotcha.
And there's no way to, we talked a little bit about with Chris with Japan, there wasn't a way to get to only the people responsible. You have to unfortunately go through others.
Yeah.
And that's why I hope that she'll come on and talk, because I want to learn her. She does say that, I can't remember if it was her or just her family, but she said her family and maybe her, they've dealt with some of the brutality. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why obviously it hits home. If Israelis, and she experienced that kind of treatment from Israel with her and her family, then of course she's going to, I don't, and again, I'm not being in that situation. It's not like you've had Dallas and Fort Worth, Dallas and Houston bombing each other
right.
over College Station in the middle of them or whatever at all. And so we don't know what it's like to kind of be in that situation. But at the same time, I'm having a hard time justifying what just happened, where babies burned, women dragged,
right.
This whole
raped and
attack.
Everything. Yes, that's horrible.
Regardless of anything, come at us and say, guess what, Israel is. And again, they'll claim that they've been doing that, but I haven't heard it. No. So be more, keep it up. I mean, I think that's the only option, unless this person can tell me what another option would be to get through to me, besides listening to somebody like her and then making my own assessment. Anyway,
and I know they've been fighting for a long time. Is there a proper way to declare war? I don't know, except for something extreme like this, an extreme action.
Like I said, back in the I don't think there's been an official war declared. I think it's just been this way. I think
just fighting.
There's bombs here and there, and every once in a while, and it just kind of, if anything, if you want to define it, I think they've been at war since maybe the Brits left the location.
Well, they even mentioned in this video that during this festival that you can see bombs going through the air and stuff like that. But they were like, they're used to that in that area. And I was like, I can't imagine having to live in that type of environment. That's
that
crazy.
Gaza Strip is where it's crazy. And Israel controls it now, and Palestinians live there. And then Palestinians claiming they're being killed off, genocide. And Israel's claiming, no, we're just keeping order, and that's my understanding. But there are also videos, to what you were saying, there are videos they show this festival of people dancing and having a good time, and in the background, you see these drones coming in from afar. Uh-huh. It's very eerie because you know that what's about to happen. And they're like, it looks like little Star Wars things. I mean, they're little pods, and they're flying them, and they're in them, and they have got their guns with them, and they come in and just slaughter everybody. And I don't promote slaughtering everybody in any sense of, I say that. If somebody came at my family or hit the United States again, I mean, I think when 9/11 happened, I was probably admittedly one of the people who was like, yeah, let's go get those, assholes. Yeah. And so I think if you're Palestinian and you've been hit by Israel over and over and over again, you're probably like, yay, Hamas.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. But if you're from Israel and you're Jewish, you're going, wow, look what they just did. Fuck that. So it's a circle, this vicious cycle of like.
But you would also hope that that Palestine would be ready for war when Hamas made this move. It's like, I hope Hamas doesn't make this movie.
Yeah. They're like, wait.
Obviously, they're not ready for
they did
it.
what? They're eating
know?
dinner. They're like, wait a second.
So
Yeah. So, well.
it's a shitty situation.
And Israel responded like everybody knew they would, and they're blasting away, and they're trying to claim they're hitting Hamas only, but we all know that's probably not true.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm going to look more into it, and the reason I set it up is because we need to talk about it because it's there, and we can't ignore it. Trey and I do our best with serious topics and with things that are out in the world that need to be, we talk about orcas and we talk about underwater. No, I'm kidding. We talk about, we talked about the submarine that disappeared. We talked about these current events that happen in our world surrounding us need to be discussed. And I'm hoping that the people that listen to our show aren't the ones how about this, Trey? I can guarantee they aren't the ones who are like nose deep in the books trying to figure out every little detail.
Right.
They're people that don't have time. They're people that have kids, they have jobs, they have whatever, and they want to go and listen to some people talk about the issue and go, hey, he made a good point. He admits he doesn't know everything, but hey, I'm going to look more into this part of it or this part of it. And that's what I'm hoping that we do. And I'm really hoping that with this issue, I can get this young lady on. And maybe she'll tell me that I said some things in this segment that she didn't like. I'm hoping that she does. She did tell me, Trey, she said, I'll come on your show, but I'm not going to hold back.
Cool.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way we like it. So hopefully she's doing okay. I know she's been through a lot emotionally. And hopefully we talk to her soon. Is there anything you want to add to that? Again, it was just a setup to say we are aware. We know what's going on. We're going to keep studying it, and we'll bring it up every once in a while as it keeps going. Because guess what? This thing isn't ending for a while at least, and hopefully we can have somebody from both sides. I mean, I'd love to have any Jewish friends that we have or Israeli friends that we have that come on and give their perspective. I probably won't have them on at the same time as the young lady from Palestine.
You just hope for a peaceful solution, whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
but it just hasn't happened, and that's the point, and that's what both sides will tell you.
And what is a peaceful solution
right?
For them?
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, they're unwilling to just say divide the land and whatever. There's too much history,
right?
So I think we'll move on, but I just wanted to kind of set that up and lay that foundation to let people know that we are aware that something did happen over there. Trey and I are not just all about orcas and anal cream.
Or are we?
We try. When this happened, we were like, oh shit, we have to actually research. So we'll move on from that, but we'll get to that at some point in more detail. Cool?
I like it.
All right, let's go and I'm excited because it's been a while. We had Ryan, the entrepreneur, who downed our ideas like it was just.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that.
Not only did he say no, he laughed.
I mean, I had to take my boat back and everything.
And then he told you to do something else. It was like, no, that idea sucks, but you could do this.
Yeah.
It was almost like, anyway. And then we had Chris on, and we all know, we got real into World War II there. So we haven't had an opportunity to do this, and right after we got started in it, which is the states.
One thing each state is worst at.
Yes, I love this one's this one's fun. So we're gonna go. We left off. You did the first 5. We're gonna do the next 5.
Next 5.
And the first 5 left off at what?
California.
Oh, and they were the most
polluted cities. Yeah.
Oh, California, get your shit together.
Right.
So the next state, if I do my alphabet right, would be
Colorado.
Colorado. That's what I was gonna say.
Do you have any guesses about Colorado?
Marijuana.
It has something to do with their powder.
Their powder?
Yeah.
Like snow?
Like snow?
Well, I skied there. I've been skiing my whole life in Colorado. What's up?
It's a different type of powder. They have the greatest cocaine use.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always thought of them as just the pot smokers.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Colorado
enjoy
is
their
the cocaine capital? Okay.
Yeah. It says, if you find yourself in Colorado attending somebody's party and people are talking about fresh cut powder,
it's not the ski sleds.
Don't assume the discussion is anything about skiing conditions.
I would be like, oh yeah, tomorrow morning. And they're like, really? Morning time?
That's weird.
Well, good for Colorado, I guess. They're partying. they do their thing up there in the mountains. They just kind of like, they're just not worried about anything. Good for them.
Sniff some powder, go ski on some powder. Anyway.
That's why there's so many people that hit trees and shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Do you know the next one?
Colorado are we going to, we're D's, right? Delaware?
Or Connecticut. You were close.
I forgot about those guys. Connecticut.
Got any, this one's kind of boring, but
yeah,
any thoughts about Connecticut?
If you said which state is boring, they're one of them. And I've heard it's lovely. Don't get me wrong. I've heard it's beautiful, Northeast and New England, whatever. They're one of the first states, but I have no idea.
Most unequal incomes.
Oh, so they're saying the disparage. Is that the right word? Disparagement.
It says it has
between the wealthy and the poor.
There you go. It says Connecticut has the highest rate of school enrollment.
Say the state again.
Connecticut.
I thought you said Connecticut.
Connecticut has the highest rate of school enrollment and the highest per capita income in the nation. But the top 1% in the state earn 41 times what everyone else makes.
Oh, man. So they have a lot of wealthy people, but it's like the people below that are making a lot
super
less.
Poor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I would not have known that. Oh, well, Connecticut.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, figure it out. But I mean, you know what? Capitalism, whatever.
Let's see.
Next would be Delaware.
There you go.
Okay.
What's your get? Do you have a guess on Delaware?
No, it's the first official state, so I can't imagine it has anything to do with that if it's the worst.
Kind of boring here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Least regular exercise.
Are they saying they're the fattest, or are they just saying they don't exercise?
It says a Gallup poll says less than half of people in Delaware exercise regularly, and that's for 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week is their standard.
That's not that bad.
So, yeah, that was dumb. Anyway.
No, I mean, it's not dumb. We just need to know. Delaware, start working out. Maybe we should open a gym there.
We could be stud athletes there, or a Dunkin' Donuts.
That's the smarter option.
There we go.
Or both, right next to each other. We'll get all the people.
Next one is my favorite state. Hold on.
Delaware. I'm going to go with.
So we've done Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware. So this is number 4.
We have 2 more. What's after Delaware? Is there any more D's? I don't think there's another D.
No.
F.
A, B, C, D, E. Is there E's?
No. F.
My favorite
Florida.
state.
Here we go. All right, Florida. Here it is.
This one. Do you have any guesses on this one?
Hell no. It could be anything. Gators or
most recreational boat accidents.
I'm not disappointed with that one, but I am. It's sort of like because I've been to Florida on boats quite a bit, and I've been both sides of it and around and all that. And they have this channel system that goes through on the east side, and it's like these canals. It looks like Venice, Italy, but it goes for like a long way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're talking about that, because I could see in the evening time. I mean, you can pull up your boat to like a restaurant in these canals. It's pretty cool. I mean, it actually is kind of cool. But I can also see a bunch of people getting fucked up and getting in their boats,
doing some dumb
and
shit.
causing some problems, and then getting out on the other side, outside the coastline as well. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That didn't surprise me at all. I wish there were some stories attached to that.
It says that it boasts the highest number with regards to boat accidents and fatalities. It says studies do show that Floridians operate their boats at least as well as highly caffeinated primates. So there's that.
Did they take a shot at us right there?
Maybe. I do like my caffeine.
I know. Well, you take a pill, right?
And pre-workout.
Oh, I like my coffee, so we got it covered. You and your fucking pre-workout.
Oh my gosh.
Florida, F. There's no more F's, right?
E, F, G.
G would be Georgia.
There you go.
Man, I'm good at this.
You're good. You're good at your alphabet and your states.
I know what comes after F.
Let me give you a sticker on your report card. You got any suggestions?
Georgia peaches. No, I don't know. Go ahead.
Least integrity.
Oh, wow. We hit Georgia hard.
Yeah, it says politicians in Georgia are the least ethical.
According to what, though?
With about 658 state workers accepting gratuities during a 2-year period.
Oh, that's how.
There you go.
You answered my question.
State legislators were not available for a word without an offer of sporting event tickets or hockey baked Or I'm sorry,
Hockey.
honey baked hams.
Hockey baked hams. But it seems
Holy
it
shit.
seems like they're talking about the government here versus like the people of Georgia.
And they're only saying in a 2-year period. Which 2 years was that? Was that recently?
Yeah.
Was that?
I don't know. I'm willing to give Georgia another shot.
Really?
Are you? Well, no.
I do like the Bulldogs. I mean,
You
as far
do?
as
Okay.
the animal, not the team.
Oh. Okay. Well, that was boring. Let's go. Was that 5?
That was 5. We knocked out 5 real quick.
Okay. All right. Maybe some of these other states will but
We haven't got to Texas yet.
no, we got a few more shows for that. But those are fun. To me, they're fun even if they're boring because it's kind of like Connecticut. I didn't know that, and now I know that. Delaware.
We're in Delaware.
Get on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard. But
Walk to
would've-
Dunkin's instead of driving.
Right. I would. Yeah. I never would have thought that if you said which state, what would you say? Which state does the least exercise? You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have thought Delaware. I don't think
Maybe
Delaware.
Arizona.
I don't know.
I mean, I would even say Florida because that's where a lot of people go to retire.
Yeah.
Arizona
Or hot places because you don't go outside.
Yeah. Vegas.
But Delaware's not that hot.
No.
So anyway, that's my point is that I never would have known that.
It's just boring.
Florida, I would have guessed the boat thing because everyone's just crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of waterways.
I thought they would have had a cocaine
swamps,
issue
and
though too, for real.
They probably do. It's not what they're worst at.
Maybe
They're worse than the boats.
they're best at selling it, not using it.
Their second worst thing is the cocaine.
There you go.
Yeah. But same with Colorado. I thought Colorado was all marijuana all the time, and you're
Right.
telling me that now there's cocaine going
Yeah.
on.
Or even skiing accidents maybe in Colorado.
So
I guess not.
So this has become more about the knowledge we're giving you rather than entertainment.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Let's do self-awareness real fast. You said you had one. So let's
I do
roll.
have one.
Let's roll. Fuck everybody.
These kids on these scooters are going crazy right now.
Which scooters?
Just these electric scooters.
Oh, not the ones where you push with
Oh,
your...
no, hell no. They're too fucking lazy for that. But I literally pull out of my apartment complex and I have to watch as these kids just flying around. And I'm in a truck now. And so I don't want to hit these kids. But come on. Don't drive right down the
you
fucking
do.
middle of the street. Okay? They're trying to kind of miss the speed bumps. Obviously, I get it. But come on. Stay on a sidewalk. I mean, there's sidewalks everywhere. Get off the street. I mean, literally, I almost hit one today. And I barely could see the top of his head in my truck. So I'm like, come on.
Is that his fault or is that your fault for having a stupid large truck?
I don't know. But I mean, if you're in the middle of the street, come on. Like,
Are you willing to take both 50-50 responsibility? No. I'm
well, and so down at the end of my apartment complex, there's a school zone and stuff. So kids are getting out of school. And so as I'm driving out, 2 girls on one literally drove by and they look at me and they're like, and I see her say to the other one, "Who cares?" And just keeps going.
Nuh-uh.
I'm like,
You
yes.
saw it?
I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Come on, you know.
I'm laughing, but I would have been so pissed.
And of course, my what's it called? Aggressive ass. I stare at her like,
yeah.
you know. But she don't
big,
give a shit.
You're big behind the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
The wheel.
If she'd have turned around and did something, I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was talking to her over there.
That's passive aggressive ass. That's what I was trying to say. My passive
Yeah.
aggressive ass gave her a stare down, like I was going to do something.
So it's just in general. Is it just what parking lots? Just anywhere?
It's happening more frequently in the
I'm not
parking
seeing
area.
them
No,
as much as you are.
maybe
I
it's just
mean,
in my apartment complex. So there's a Whataburger right there. So I always see kids
yeah.
coming through out of the Whataburger.
do you
coming
blame
from the
them?
school? No, not at all. I love the Whataburger.
I want
but,
Whataburger.
you know, just don't right down the middle. You know, and they're flying too. It's not like they're kind of cruising just to make sure. They are flying.
But they're flying enough. Flying on a scooter is still not enough to outdo a car. Or a
Right,
truck.
right. So
Okay. So you want the kids to be more aware, or whoever's on a scooter.
That those
are there
scooters
any
are not
like?
gonna fight?
Are there any like 30-year-old dudes that?
I haven't seen one yet.
They're just like
That would be
hell
funny.
yeah, dude.
That would be funny.
On like a pink scooter.
Right. I would want to do that, but
Well, I think
I'm staying on the side.
I think the scooters would be a blast.
I think so too.
But okay, I was just gonna
ahead.
say so they're in the middle. So you want them to be on the side.
Yeah, and it's not just one or two. It's like all of them. The whole gang of friends. We're gonna ride our scooters right down the middle of the fucking. And when did it become acceptable to always wear pajamas everywhere? I'm seeing
Ooh,
pajamas
that's a completely.
at a fucking gym. These kids wearing these pajamas.
We went from great segues to absolutely no segue right there. I love
Pajamas and Crocs. When did that become a thing? Like,
I'm gonna ask my wife because she knows the trends, and although she's not a pajamas and Crocs person, so maybe that's a young person
Maybe.
thing. You're seeing more of that.
I'm seeing more of that too. Riding around their scooters, pajamas and Crocs.
You know what I think, and this comes from absolutely nothing other than just me in the last couple of years. COVID. I think during COVID, everybody just became, we're home, we're going to wear pajamas all the time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, then you're released from your imprisonment, and everyone just said, hey, this is kind of comfy. Let's just wear these. And
Wait, I was walking around naked. So does that mean I can just ride my scooter naked now?
I think that most of our listeners would support that.
As long as I wear Crocs.
On your bike?
I want everybody to see how well that anal
Would
bleach
that
is
hurt?
working.
Would that hurt your area if you were on your bike without
I'm talking about the scooter. I want to do the scooter.
Oh, scooter naked.
Scooter naked.
If any of you see two men with Crocs naked on a scooter, but I have to wear a helmet, so I'll have a helmet as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And then
Butt naked and helmet.
come and say hi and get a selfie with us because you know it's us.
It is us. Don't call the cops.
Yeah, no, it's just us. We're good.
We're cool.
There's absolutely nothing to worry about.
It's just a bit. It's funny.
Yeah. Wait, a bit. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so for you, it's scooters in the middle of the road and pajamas and Crocs.
Yes.
Okay, mine, and I may have said this one before. I don't remember, but I'm going to say it again, and it's stupid and it's petty and people. But it may be one of the ones that gets me the most, especially as like a English major and a guy with a master's in writing.
I'm scared I do this now.
I don't think that you do. I would notice that I probably would have thrown something at you. Don't say the word literally.
Oh, okay. I've done this before. Yeah.
And I'm sure, yeah. And I'll admit that maybe over the years I have once or twice, and I was trying to catch myself. Don't say it because. Look up the definition, and I guess maybe if I was more of a professional show, I'd have the definitions right in front of us, but I don't. But everybody knows what that word means. If
literally,
you don't,
literally know.
Yeah, literally, I literally know what that word means. And if you don't, then what, Trey? Go look it up.
Yeah.
Well, do your own research.
Actually, in the show, you told me it's not literally because we can take you outside and I'll slap you in the. What'd you say? Burn a book or slap you in the face. Which one's going?
Oh, did I call? So I did. I did call you out.
Yeah, you called me out.
That was during our Quran talk, I think. But to me, it's so. Oh God! And I think you know what it is, Trey. And I'm going to get deep with you right here. I think it's all this Bravo that I'm watching. Because these fucking people on Bravo, all these shows that my wife we watch, and again, I'm not going to say it's all her fault. It's her fault for introducing it to me.
It's literally her fault.
It's my fault for continuing to watch it. But these girls and guys that get on there and they're all in their late 20s and they're just like every other sentence is like, I was literally devastated. Well, okay, you weren't. You were smiling. That's not you. Or I was literally covered head to toe in no, because we'd be able to see that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'll give props to one of my favorite comedians, Dane Cook. You remember that guy?
Yes, sir.
I saw him not too long ago. He's actually still he's great. I love Dane Cook, and he got a bad whatever. he got a bad. People were giving him a hard time for something, but I always liked the guy. And he did a bit about that, and he goes, these girls come up, and I don't know, I made him all the girls, but girls come up and they're like, oh, you don't understand. There was a big, huge fire down the street. There were literally 1,000 firefighters there. And he's like, no, there were not. They were not. There might have been 10 or 20, but not
1,000.
Then my favorite was she woke up. My girlfriend. She goes, my girlfriend woke up, and wow! I literally took like a 500-hour nap. And he's like, no, you've not. That would be a coma.
Yep.
You took a 500-hour coma.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but that's so true to me.
Yeah.
And now I can't get out of my head. Someone will just say it at and it's not literal. It's not.
Yeah. I like it. Now I'm going to start paying attention to that.
You're going to do it.
I'm just going to keep fucking with you with the literally.
And I think there's some other ones that are like that too. And you get a little more serious when you talk about some of these words that people use that they don't know the meaning, fascism, things like that. That's a little different. That's you're using it because you think it means something.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that. Just don't say literally unless you mean literally.
Got it.
Don't say I'm literally going to die
Or
unless you fucking fall down and die.
Or irregardless.
Yeah, that's another one. Those we should talk about though. We'll talk about those one show, which are the ones that are just like the whole thing's a cluster.
We need to literally talk about that.
Okay, I think even our listeners are like, "Trash the fuck up."
Yeah,
so that was mine. Mine was pretty basic tonight, but I heard it the other day, and again, it's this Bravo shit.
Stop watching Bravo.
I know, but I can't. Like
it's literally that simple.
Monday Night Football was on the other night. I'm like checking the score on my phone because my fantasy guy and all this stuff, and I'm checking it out.
Bravo.
And then all of a sudden you look over and like Kyle is into it with Amanda, and they're making out. But then Kyle goes over to Katie, and who knows what's going to happen?
Dun, dun, dun.
Katie and Amanda fight, which is always fun.
Yeah, pillow fights.
So that was mine tonight. But anyway, it feels weird ending the show. Before like 3 hours
before midnight
of World War II, World War II information.
I got to be on a call here pretty soon, so I need you to wrap this up. Chris will be calling me to fill me in on WW2 facts.
You have your nightly call coming up. I apologize because I don't want to get caught where he says, "Well, let's just all zoom in there."
No,
then I'm caught.
You're like, "Yeah, I gotta go." Literally.
So it was fun. We'll. All right, everyone. As usual, hit us up. Social media, blah 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 blah. Every little follow and subscription helps.
Absolutely.
Spotify's, like I said, they're looking. That's what they want. YouTube, same thing. So
help us out.
And we'll see you on the next one. Love you guys.
Later.
I already know what it's going to be. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I literally used anal cream before I came over here.
God, we know each other way too well. That was exactly what I was going to do. Fuck you.